Hello everyone, today we are going to do the dual battery mode on the Lankeleisi XT750. This has two advantages. One is of course increased range, and the other advantage is that this bike, if you unlock the motor power and if it comes with the 1000 watts controller, it draws a huge amount of current from the battery. And because the original battery is removable, it has several connections, such as the wires from the cells and BMS to this connector here, and they use an internal plug, so you have wires plug, then this connector connects to this connector, so it's another plug. And then if you remove this, underneath you are going to find the wires that go to yet another connector. So you get a lot of connectors in series, so when you use all that power you have a large voltage drop, and you can see that on the display on the Lankeleisi. When you accelerate full power, the battery, even if it's full, it will drop to something like 50%, and as soon as you release the throttle back, it will go up to full again. So it uses a lot of power and has a very big voltage drop. Using the dual battery mode, you can actually connect the second battery somewhere closer. I'm not going to connect directly to the controller wires, but I'm going to connect to this wire. So I'm going to have only one set of connectors between the second battery and the controller, so that will stop the voltage drop a bit. So I will get more consistent battery level remaining on the display. And now I'm going to take the controller out because I need to also install the wires that will go out to the battery, to the external battery. And I will be kind of careful with taking this out. And there you go, here's the controller, in case if you are wondering. 20 amps, that's almost 1000 watts of power. The wires that I'm using are high quality silicone ones, and I'm also going to wrap them in some duct tape first, and later I'm going to install some protection spiral over the wires. You need to take caution, as in the frame here there's very limited space and all the wires pass through that hole there, and the controller, when it goes in, it kind of jams onto the wires and makes the wires rub around that metal hole and on the controller, so you can short out some wires. So that's why you need to use duct tape and protect the wires as best as possible when you install them. And the cable is now done, so I'm going to install it through that hole there, and then I'm going to solder the needed plugs on the controller. I'm not going to solder new plugs, I'm going to actually cut the wires, and then I'm going to solder the extra ones like that, and then I'm going to use shrink tube to cover them up and to be safe. And now comes the ugly part. I need to put all of this back in to that tiny housing, and it's very complicated as the controller barely goes in, so you need to tuck in all the wires, and you need to be careful not to squash them. And also the charging port is in the way, and this controller just goes under it, but the wires will not go in, so it's a lot of fiddling to put all of this back. Now I have the second plug and I can connect my external battery. Very important, the external battery must have the same amount of voltage, so both batteries should be at the same level of charge, because if you connect a discharged battery to a charged battery, current will rush from the charged battery to the discharged one. The current will be very high and you can burn out electronics, burn out wires, burn out the BMS, or destroy something or destroy the batteries. So always be sure that both batteries have the same voltage when you connect them in parallel.